Let's study the bat, which is an advanced shoulder stand in which hip extension is going to play an important role. So there's a lot of control drills that we want to be able to perform first before we tackle a dynamic entry into the bat. When we perform shoulder rolls or stands, there are two main parts. One is the scapula on our back when we roll, and the other is the side of the shoulder, the midi part of the shoulder, which is used when we transition, for instance, from a shoulder roll back to our back, or when we go into a shoulder stand. And it's this latter part, the side of the shoulder, which we're gonna use for the bat. From a shoulder stand, your mission will be to clap your feet together in the air by bringing the bottom leg all the way up to the air leg. What you will quickly realize is that the more flexed the hips and the more stable, the more you open them and the less stable. So at first, practice with your feet pointing towards the wall in front of you, and once you have found some stability, learn to gradually open your hips, extending them, bringing your feet towards the ceiling, because this is the end position we want to achieve eventually. You are going to have to push hard on the arm of the shoulder that you are standing on, otherwise you will fall on the second shoulder, which will bring you back down to a candlestick. To understand better what's supposed to happen in terms of hip flexion and extension, we can set ourselves in that position on one shoulder and try to keep your feet together, extending and flexing both hips, trying to be as stable as possible in that somehow painful position. Onto the knee to arm placement. In the bat, like any shoulder roll, we roll on one shoulder. The other arm is free. On that side, we're gonna bring the knee over the elbow. That hand is resting in front of my face, and we're gonna push down on it and keep pushing on the arm on which we're staying to find balance. So again, if we're rolling on the left shoulder, the right arm slides overhead, comes in front of our face, and the right knee nests itself over the right elbow. And from there, same logic. Flex hips is easier. You want to stabilize that first, but once you have it, you want to start extending those hips. A way to do that is to find the contact between the elbow and the knee first, and then extend the hip of the straight leg into the desired position to really roll better on the side of the shoulder. This is going to take a few reps to make it more and more still and more controlled. So don't despair and be patient. Because we want to enter that shape to make our life easier, we're going to go in a candlestick with a leg already bent and the other already straight. As you get to the apex of the candlestick, you can train yourself to extend the hips, but remember, the bent leg, which is going to stay bent all along, will be the one that nests itself on the forearm or the elbow of the arm of the same side, because we're rolling on the opposite shoulder. The right leg is the one that we extend towards the ceiling to find the bottom position. And from there, if you want to be fancy, you can finish in a fish roll or a half fish roll, since they both require hip extension. To create more continuity with entries into that movement, we can start our candlestick with our pelvis already off the floor, pushing on the foot of the bent leg to find quickly the bat position. You can also use a wall to help yourself find the perfect position on that shoulder and become more used to it.